Welcome to the Igniting the CEO Within podcast, where we interview successful, high-level professionals to discover lessons they've learned throughout their career that can help ignite that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes or so. Our show is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has developed Launchpad, which offers an opportunity for experienced executive coaches and strategic advisors to become licensed circle directors and earn significant recurring revenues. After completing the Launchpad program, you'll lead your own peer advisory circles, helping other CEOs and entrepreneurs excel in their professional and personal lives while providing a community of accountability, challenge, and support. If you'd like to learn more, go to quaidcircle.com. I am really excited about our show today. We have Shana Smith, executive coach and business strategist of Catalyst Consulting out of Romeoville, Illinois.
Awesome.
Shana, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. I'm excited to be here.
You get to work with all kinds of leaders and entrepreneurs and business owners and CEOs in your world and your roles. Talk about what you see separates the ones that are super successful, the ones that people follow, from some that don't. Maybe they aren't quite as good. They're not awful, but they're average. There are some distinct traits that separate the really good from the really bad.
Yes. Yes, there is. There's actually two things, if it's okay if I share.
Oh, absolutely.
One is that they are true to their North Star. They're true to what lights them up. They're true to their identity. Even in the messy work, when they're like, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I headed in the right direction? There's a small voice within them that they are true to that pushes them forward and helps them continue to lead even in the uncertainty and unknown. So
Mhm.
that's one thing, trusting that inner voice, their true north.
Yeah.
The second thing is they are person centered, heart centered. They do what they do and they're driven not always by data, numbers, and revenue, but by the transformation and success they're able to support others through. It's more mission work that I see the
Uh-huh.
success. Where because you can make so much money, you can get to a level, but if you are not focused on the outcome and transformation that you're creating, it'll always be more next.
Mhm.
So they no longer find that they are driven by the numbers, but they're driven by the mission and the transformation they're able to create through others.
I like that. I like both of those things. Can we unpack both of those just a little bit? That
Yes.
the North Star, I think is really really key and really important. When you start to think about that, how does one come about and truly identify their North Star? Like, is it something that they're born with, or do they acquire it over time? Does it change? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that there's different layers. So the first layer is something that you are born with. It's something internal. You can actually look over your life and if you were to literally just do a synopsis of everything you've accomplished and or been through, good and bad, there's a common denominator there. There's something that you have been able to do that has built resilience over time in a direction that allows you to move forward. So that's one. But the other layer is that is a decision because most of us are multi-talented, multifaceted, and have been through many different things. But there's one thing that you make a decision on to anchor yourself in, and it's because you have results in that area. And so what it does is it builds up the momentum, the courage, the clarity that gives you enough force and drive to go deep. I always tell my
Mm,
clients it's a difference between going broad and getting more information and getting more knowledge and knowing things because most of us are high achievers as business
yeah.
owners. There's
Yep.
another thing to go deep in a thing, and it has to be connected to your heart because it's only so far you'll go if you're only driven by how much you are able to get from it. If you now say, hey, I have a mission, I'm anchored in this because I have fruit from this myself, and then I'm able to produce that in others, you'll continue to go deep. You'll study more, you'll connect more, you'll have better outcomes and success.
Yeah, I 100% agree with all that. How when people come to you, and you're helping them work through whatever that CEOs and entrepreneurs go through, how how do you approach somebody who hasn't yet figured that out, who hasn't come to that grounding piece, that something that they can wrap their arms around and go, yeah, that's me. How do you help them get to there?
Yeah, it's a lot of starting with vision. So a lot of the clients come to me and they're like, "Hey," it's like they vomit. "I can do this. I wanna do this. I've done this." I'm like, "Okay," I have to say, "Let's slow down and
Uh-huh.
assess the patterns that are there." Because sometimes it's things that are there in clear view, like sight, but you don't have the clarity and language yet to land it. And so we
Mhm.
have to take a step back to say, okay, after you've vomited and you've said all of these things, we have to now organize this. We have to organize your thoughts. We have to make sure now what your vision is, we have to bring it into earth, into the market and land it so that whatever you say, whatever you're selling, the message is clear on what you are hoping to gain or what you can help others through. And so it is vision. They come in with vision, but now we have to put that into structure. And then
Mhm.
from there, we have to put it into strategy and we have to make sure it's a great market fit, not just because you have all of these things, but if you don't have a buyer, if you're not able to sell it, if you're not able to package it and position it, it's not, you're not able to operate in that effective role. And this is over and over again. This is not, some people think they go through this one time in the idea phase, but
Yeah.
as you grow and or scale and pivot, this process is something that will go like come up over and over again. And sometimes they'll feel like, what am I doing? Everything is broken, everything.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to do because
Yeah.
the foundation and the anchor, it shifts because the weight and requirements shift as you continue to scale and grow.
That's really cool stuff. You said a lot in there, and one of the things that I heard was you're going to start out and you're going to have a vision, and you're going to start to refine that vision, and your why, right? To quote
Yeah.
Simon Sinek, and but you're going to take that why you're starting this thing out, and but that's not enough. That's not good enough. You've got to start to frame it and make sure that everything within your organization aligns with that vision, that why, that whatever. Because if you do, will believe that, right? Not only your customers, but your employees and your teammates and the marketplace. So it's not just a really cool logo and a tagline, right? It's got to filter throughout your entire strategic plan and how you operate.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
That's a lot of work.
it is.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
where do you start? Like, do you start with the like? Yeah. Where do you start?
It depends on what stage the owner or business owner is in. If they are in vision stage, we have to start with market research. We have to make sure that they're positioned in the line. And then there's a lot of mindset work there as well, because most of the times they're coming from corporate and then now they're saying, hey, I want to start a business. Well, they don't have the evidence yet to push them and drive them to consistency or to see something to the outcome because right away it may not deliver the fruit or return that you're putting in.
Hmm.
If you've gotten past those roadblocks, then now we say, okay, we have to look at what is working. So sometimes when you're getting ready to grow, a lot of people may think, or some, I've seen, you have to do more. So we need more offers, or we need more systems. We need to hire more clients, or I'm sorry, more staff. But it's not what we need to hire. We really need to get rid of. We need to look at the data to see what is working, and then now we have to make a decision on what direction we're willing to commit to for at least the next 6 to 12 months before we shift. Because there's something that's working there. And we have to be able to package that into a repeatable process in or system so that we can scale it. If not, you'll be having, again, you'll be so wide that it won't allow you to take, like, I look at it as a rocket. It will
Mm,
hold you down. You won't be able to take off having a force because you're too wide. So it
yeah.
depends on where you are to decide what direction to take, what strategy will work for you in that particular season.
How do you start to filter that down to your teammates, right? Where so many people. Nah, that's not fair.
Mhm.
There are people that are out there that are looking for a 9 to 5 job, and they want to clock in and clock out. How do you incorporate your why and your vision throughout your entire organization so that people who have the ability to go to that extra level, they're going to do that for you and for the vision that you've set out? How do you continue? How do you help people get through that stage? Because that's when you win.
Yeah, yeah. And so even with that, there's layers. So the first thing as leader, now we shift from just being a business owner, CEO, to leadership. And so leadership is a demonstration, right? So they need, depending on how big the company is, can they see your vision demonstrated over and over again?
Hmm.
Whether it's through you personally or through the staff or management staff that you have hired to oversee. And so there has to be an alignment to say, this is our mission, but then this is how I lead, right? So now I'm demonstrating leadership. When I talk to the CEO or the owner that's overseeing staff, I have to let them know, like, you're not just managing a situation or business, you are demonstrating leadership. So it's important that you have clarity on how you lead and why you lead the way you lead. It's not saying you're trying to want duplication of you. But what it's saying is leadership is a priority. It's a core value of what we do. And so now you begin to build up other leaders. And so it's not no longer saying, hey, I need you to manage this position or this
Hmm.
role. I need you to operate in leadership because this our core value of our organization. And we develop and build leaders. We then, to sustain that, you need to have a place where this is reinforced and talked about on a regular daily basis. Your staff, they need to see transparency. They need to see
Hmm.
vulnerability. They need to
Hmm.
see those times when you don't know everything. You only have vision, because what it says is now they can let down their guard to say, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to know everything, but I can submit to his leadership or their leadership to guide me through these different processes.
Yeah, that's really good. The one thing that I might add for you
Mhm.
is, um, they also have to know what their role is
Mhm.
in attaining that vision, right? Like that clarity of, and here's where we're going, here's how we're going to get there, and oh, by the way, here's your role in doing that.
Yes.
And if you can knock those three things out, man, it's your rocket
Mhm.
ship that you talked about.
Yes. Yes, that's a great ad, and it's more important if we don't start with, again, that North Star on where are we
Yeah,
going and how we plan to get there. We're going to be in shambles. We're going to
yeah,
constantly have to keep going over the same ground, constantly having to do a lot of repeats of, hiring and firing and a lot of different realignment. When if we start in the right direction, doesn't mean we're not going to make left turns and right turns and we're going to have to, figure it out along the way, but we at least know where we're going and how we're getting there.
yeah. Yeah, yes, yeah, this is fun. So, you've got all that going on, and you've mentioned, being able to pivot and take advantage of opportunities and that type of thing along the way. It is still really important that you're not seen as, the jelly of the month club, right? Like, I just read this book, and so now this is where we're going. No, oh, I just read this book, and now this is where we're going,
Yes.
right? Like I think you nailed it with having that North Star of, here's where we're going. We'll look at some things out here, but really, here's our pathway for 6 to 12 months. And if information comes to us that makes us consider that we can still get to where we're going, our North Star, but we may do a little curve in that thing, then that's okay.
Yeah.
But you nailed it with, you've got to know that North Star first.
Yeah. Because we don't want to be reactionary, right? We don't want to make decisions and move from a place of reaction and
Yep.
response, because now that says we're unstable. And so again, we go back to that North Star, it becomes blurry. It becomes, jaded. It becomes a distraction because now where we sit, where we're going, we now have like that shiny object syndrome that's saying, okay, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should go here. Oh, that
Right. Right.
if we're focused and anchored in that, it says, this is a great thing. Let's table it. Let's put this on. Let's carve out times. I always advise executives to have quarterly check ins
Hmm.
where we still have that North Star, but we may have to pivot and make changes on how we're going to get there. And so now you're bringing the collective in on these changes and you're able to make adjustments and pivot, but according to that time, you're not reactionary. This is an intentional process that you're able to work through as a collective.
Yeah, that's good. And I think when you have, as a teammate too,
Yeah.
one of the things that you want to know is that your voice is heard.
Yeah.
And if you have an idea, you don't necessarily have to have it implemented, but you want to know that it's heard. And if the leader can say, hey, that's a good idea. We need to table that right now because it just doesn't fit with how we're going right now. There's value in it. It's just
Yeah.
not yet. Or, hey, that I really appreciate your idea. However, that just doesn't fit with where we're going. And here's why.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, cool. I mean, now as an employee, as a teammate, you're like, they get it. This is cool. They're listening to me. And now I get it. And I am in. Let's go.
Yes. Validation is a major component of teamwork. If you're, because you don't want the person, a lot of times people think the loudest person is the
Mhm.
person that needs to be heard, but really it's not. It's the quiet person because they're
Yeah.
the thinker. They're the one that has sat and listened to everyone's story. They've observed how everyone moves and gathers and processes information, and they're in their own mind lining it up. But when they do have the courage to release that wisdom or direction, and are not validated for their value, it's like, okay, they begin to shut down. Now there becomes a disconnect. So now I'm no
Mhm.
longer on the team and in, a part of the vision and mission. I feel like I'm just another number or I'm just
Yeah.
another person. And that's the quickest way for you to begin to have, like, on that the rocket ship we talked about, like
Yeah.
literally bricks, because it's going to hold and weigh that rocket down. You'll be
Yeah.
firing, and it's like, okay, there's some weight here, and that's that weight.
This has been amazing. I think you and I could talk for about 3 or
Yeah.
4 more hours. So, but, so I wanna start to wrap it up, and let me ask you one last question. If you look back at, 21-year-old Shanna,
Mhm.
what is one thing that you wish she knew that you've learned over these years?
To actually chase change, to actually
Mhm.
hone into change, to not resist change, because sometimes change, most of the times change is scary and you do not have the blueprint on what's on the other side of that decision, but trusting that I am a good decision maker, and so whatever decision I make, I will be able to get through and figure it out, not to stay stuck. I will get it as I go. Like, don't try
Mhm.
to have all the pieces, don't try to make everything perfect, don't try to make it all make sense. Once you have that inner voice, to trust that and allow that to be your guide and to keep moving forward.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, do me a favor, share what a typical engagement with you and Catalyst Consulting looks like, and how can people get a hold of you?
Yes, we're on all social media platforms. You can either follow myself at I am Shana Smith or Catalyst Consulting on LinkedIn. We pretty much work with executive CEOs, businesses, and their teams in general. And so you would come in. You may have a stagnation in your revenue and or scaling and or getting started. You can book a consultation with us to see if we're a good fit, and then we'll do an assessment and then support you with what service and or accommodations you may need to get to the for that transformation at that time.
Love it. Love it. All right, thank you so much for joining me. This has been amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I've had a good time. And thank you for all that you do and keep the great work.
Oh, same to you. Same to you.
Thank
All
you.
right, y'all. We've done it one more time. We've found another amazing leader who was willing to share her insights and experiences with us. So proud of what we're building at Igniting the CEO Within and Quaid, and to have people like this in our community is just amazing for me.
Yeah.
So, wanted to keep you in mind that all of our episodes are sponsored by Igniting this of Igniting the CEO Within are sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has created Launchpad, which provides an opportunity for experienced executive coaches and strategic advisors to become licensed circle directors and earn significant annual recurring revenues. To find out more, visit quaidcircle.com. Until next time, keep igniting that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge. Thanks for listening.